Iowa Senator Joni Ernst has changed her mind involving a subject that's both deeply painful and personal. She'll tell us what led to the change and why she's now part of an effort for a new law. Plus, the new history-making leader of an Iowa college explains why it was time to create a position for diversity and inclusion on campus. And in the Insider's Quick Six, a request for the politicians in D.C. and Des Moines.
From your local election headquarters, this is the Insiders with Dave Price.
Iowa Senator Joni Ernst is a sexual assault survivor and military veteran. Both of those experiences impact work that she's doing now. Because of her career in Washington, she knows Martha McSally. McSally is a former U.S. Senator from Arizona. She also says she is a survivor after a superior raped her while she served in the military. Former Democratic presidential candidate and New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand has tried to change policy for nearly a decade when it comes to the military. Senator Ernst had opposed the idea. Since too many assaults, though, were still happening and too few attackers were getting punished, Gillibrand wants trained military prosecutors to handle investigations rather than commanding officers when it comes to allegations of sexual assault. Now, Ernst served as a lieutenant colonel in the Iowa Army National Guard and had felt the chain of command should remain in charge of investigations, but not anymore.
I was a little torn on this because I am a former commander in the military. And certainly, though, I am also a survivor of sexual assault. And so I did always say that if things don't change, if this does not get better, I will always keep an open mind. And I have done that. So year and year and year after, Senator Gillibrand always approached me about this. We'd have conversations. We had many different efforts that were passed into law that I had hoped would minimize sexual assault in the military. Unfortunately, we are not seeing things get better. So I sat down with Kirsten again this year, and we decided to take a slightly different approach. She did agree to a number of modifications to the original bill. So we do have a new bill. It includes a lot of my prevention efforts because in my mind, that should always be the first effort to prevent an incident from ever happening. Because by the time we have a survivor and a predator, we have failed to do our jobs to protect our troops. So we have prevention included. And one of the other modifications then is that even though the decision-making authority will be taken from the commander and given to an outside military prosecutor, so not within the chain of command, it's still within the military. A lot of people didn't understand that. But it does take that decision-making away, but it still allows that commander to be notified of investigations within their chain of command. So the commander still can maintain good order and discipline, know what's going on within his or her unit, and be able to act accordingly.
I had asked her whether she had felt that the commander should have been duty-bound to investigate these claims.
The Uniform Code of Military Justice is very different than civilian law. And the commander at a certain level can decide whether to proceed with a court-martial or return back to the unit with other types of disciplinary measures. Well, deciding whether to go to a court-martial or prosecution, that will now be left up to the special prosecutor. And the thing to note, too, is that in this bill, that special prosecutor will be educated and trained on these very intimate, special cases, such as domestic violence and sexual assault. So it will go to someone that does have the expertise to discern, does this need to move forward into a court-martial, or can I send it back to that chain of command for other types of disciplinary actions? And because we are not seeing the issue itself get better within the military, this is just one avenue for us to go after those predators.
Because you are a survivor and know how challenging it is to overcome these types of experiences, what is your thinking as a mom with your daughter going to the service?
Yeah, this is very important to me. And with all of the measures that we have passed during my first term in the Senate, I truly hope that this would protect those young, vulnerable members of our armed services. But again, Dave, we're not seeing the issue get better. And what I saw happen with the Fort Hood report and just the very toxic command climate that was at Fort Hood that led to so many issues there, we decided to move ahead, again, partnering with Senator Grassley and Kirsten Gillibrand on this effort, adding my own changes where I do believe that those that are in the military, they can buy into this new piece of legislation. But also protecting our young men and women. And I did get a text from one of the other fathers of a friend of my daughter's. That young lady is also at West Point. And that father said to me, Joni, I'm so proud of you for making this difficult decision. We really need to protect our daughters. And that's, of course, what we want to do. We do want to make sure that all of these young men and women are being protected, whether it's through my prevention efforts or whether it is through this enhanced level of decision-making with a special prosecutor.
Up next, a woman who made history at an Iowa college talks about why she led the push to hire another historic figure on campus.